With a huge twist for one character that has significant ramifications for the Harrigans, MobLand's fifth episode ended explosively. The gritty gangster thriller on Paramount Plus follows the adventures of two crime families in contemporary London who are abruptly and unexpectedly driven to the verge of a full-scale gang war after a terrible murder. Despite being full of crime drama cliches, MobLand, which stars Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, and Helen Mirren at the top of an ensemble cast, manages to have a lot of bite because of the strong performances at its core. The matriarch of the Harrigan crime family, played by Helen Mirren, Maeve Harrigan, has quickly established herself as the most cunning and dangerous person in a world full of them. When she was insulted by Vron Stevenson, her much younger counterpart in the Harrigan-Stevenson rivalry, in episode 5 of MobLand, her long-standing desire for blood and vengeance against everyone who crosses the Harrigan family reached a boiling point. The latter half of MobLand's first season is set up by her reaction, which occurred in the last moments of the show's finale. Maeve had Vron killed in MobLand. But why? Maeve tried to offer Vron her sympathies for the loss of her son at Tommy Stevenson's burial. For the most part, everyone, apart from Eddie, of course, agreed to keep things pleasant and at least seem sincere, even though it was well acknowledged by the Stevensons and Harrigans that none of the niceties were real. Having no such intentions, the heartbroken and bereaved Vron humiliated Maeve in front of her. Naturally, that infuriated Maeve, who called and then got into her car, which exploded the next time Vron was shown on screen. It's obvious that Maeve was responsible for the attack, even though she ordered the hit on Vron off-screen. This was partly in reaction to what she perceived to be an unacceptable gesture of contempt. But Vron's place in the Stevenson crime empire was more significant than the insult. Since the beginning of MobLand, Maeve has wanted to start a genuine war. And since Vron was Richie Stevenson's wife, she was the ideal target. She started by trying to get Eddie to kill Tommy Stevenson, but when that didn't work, she went on to someone far more significant. Who is Paul, the person Maeve has killed? Vron explained. Conrad's usual go-to fixer for any problem that needs resolving is Tom Hardy's character Harry D'Souza, but Maeve doesn't ask Harry for assistance in placing the explosives in Vron's car. Despite Conrad's insistence to the contrary, Maeve has previously stated that she thinks Harry instructed the police where to look for Archie's body. Maeve's angry call went to Paul since she undoubtedly had little to no faith in any of her children. Paul, who is portrayed by Emmett J. Scanlon, has appeared in the background of numerous moments as the Harrigans plot and carry out their schemes. The ostensibly knowledgeable and competent associate seems to be the one who manages tasks that fall outside of Harry's expertise, serves as a stand-in while Harry is busy, or manages tasks that Harry isn't supposed to be aware of. Paul, for instance, is the one who tailed Harry's wife Jan for Conrad. It was to be expected that Maeve would turn to Paul as Harry had been hard at work trying to prevent a war with the Stevensons. There's now no avoiding a Harrigan-Stevenson war in MobLand. Up until the middle of the wake, it appeared as though Maeve and Eddie believed that the death of Richie's cherished son Tommy would be sufficient to ignite a conflict between the two families. Richie publicly declared a truce, but with the disclaimer that Eddie was open season, even though it was obvious that he knew who killed his son. Therefore, in order for Maeve to obtain the conflict she desired, something more was required. Although Vron's remark may have been the catalyst for the shooting, Maeve and Conrad had already made plans to strike Vron next, but it's quite probable that the Harrigans will come to regret it. The size and strength of the Harrigans and Stevenson's armies have not been revealed, but they are now essentially battling a wounded and surrounded beast. Richie already had a strong dislike for the Harrigans, and now he has lost both his wife and kid to their evil. Since he has nothing left to lose and is only interested in getting revenge, the Harrigans will engage in a fierce and brutal battle with the rest of MobLand.